Hi,
Hey, how's it going?
how are you?
I'm all right.
I
Tired.
know it's super late for you over there.
That's okay. It's okay.
Oh, it's great to finally meet you. I know
You
we've
too.
been emailing a lot, so yeah.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Okay. Well, I'm on a little early just to make sure all goes well here so that you're not up any later than you should be.
No worries. I got it. I think I started the recording already, so whenever he hops in, we'll be good to go.
Where are you based? Are you in New York or?
I'm in Toledo, Ohio, actually.
Oh, wow. Wow. And where's the rest of the guys then?
Um, well, the rest of the team is actually so like I have a co-host that's in Florida, and I have a co-host in California.
Oh,
Um, so like most of the people that we talk to are usually PSC. So I'm
mhm.
used to like scheduling based on that. But sometimes we
Yeah.
talk to people like in Australia or like UK. So it always just depends. Um, yeah. I'm excited. We had a good time talking with both Julie and James. It was a great time. So excited to
I'm
see
glad,
what
I'm
Cooper has
glad.
to
Yeah,
say.
I heard those went really well. James especially, he's very excited to do these too, to talk to you guys. He's
Nice.
keep on telling us, you need to let me do more interviews.
Nice.
I mean, with things like this, not a lot of people are interested in the creatives, it's always just the talent that's kind of the face of things like this, even though it's a podcast. So yeah, we try to get them in and talk to people whenever they can.
Yeah, we like to, I mean, we like to balance it out. We like to talk to everybody, really. It's so many different perspectives to get. So we really like to mix it up. And I think James was talking about, he'd mentioned something about, I think the guy's name was Scott Zakarin.
Yeah, so Scott is actually kind of like the man behind this whole thing. It's his idea. He's like the main one. He's
Yeah,
quite a kick. I think that if you actually talk to him, you guys will have a good chat. He's quite a personality. So
nice.
let me check with him after today to see when he's free to hop on to chat with you. But
Awesome.
he would be fun.
And I
He's
think you had
yeah.
mentioned that I think Britt was tied up. So I think you said Britt Barron is not available. Um,
Yeah.
What about the others? Do you know? Because I thought that we had talked about Eric, but I can't remember. I
Yeah,
thought,
so Eric is the main one for the podcast. He's the one that played Keith. He was initially doing quite a few interviews for us, but he's back on production as well
yeah,
for Days of Our Lives. So that's the tricky part about these actors is that they're starting to go back on productions, and when they do, kind of like Cooper, it's kind of unpredictable. Their schedule. It's really hard to for them to commit to a set time because that can change.
yeah,
Thanks. Hi,
definitely.
Cooper.
Hey, Cooper, how's it going?
Hello.
Is the audio coming through fine for you?
Yeah. How's mine?
Yep, you sound good. You sound good.
Let
All
me
right.
mute myself, and then you guys can get started so you don't pick up anything on my end of it. All right.
Awesome. Thanks,
Nice to
Karen.
meet you.
Cool. Before we do get started, can I ask a question?
Go
Yes.
for it.
Because my brain's a little fuzzy this week. And I can't remember the name of the actor that I did my episode with. The guy that
Eric
was.
Martsoff, he's the
What
main one that plays Eric. He's the main one that plays Keith in the podcast. He's
was
the
he the
con
one?
man.
Was he the guy that's kind of the antagonist?
Yeah, yeah, kind of. Yeah, he's the main
His
one in
name.
there.
Okay, his name is Eric.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because just like this, we just sort of logged in and just started, and we didn't, I never met the guy.
No worries.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm
All right.
pretty sure it was all done, from remotely, so you guys didn't really get to meet or
Well, it
anything.
made it interesting, and we'll talk about that. But I didn't want to be like the other actor and just not know his name. So Eric, cool,
Awesome.
great.
Awesome. Thanks, Karen.
Thank
Let me.
thank you, Karen.
So, Cooper, I appreciate you coming on to talk with me. I know it's late on your end. It's actually 11 p.m. over here. So, we
Where are
usually
you,
have,
Joseph?
I'm in Toledo, Ohio.
Oh, okay,
Um,
right
we,
on.
we usually have a couple other co-hosts on to mix up the questions, but they're in bed, tucked in,
You're
so
all asleep.
it's just gonna be you and I today. And I
Well,
really
I
really
appreciate
appreciate
it.
you taking the time to talk.
Oh yeah, no problem. Thanks for taking the time to work around my schedule.
Of course. And you had mentioned a little bit about the shooting remotely. I'm curious about how many of the other people on the staff did you actually work with? Did you work with anybody else in the cast or crew at all?
Prior to this?
Well, like on this project, other than the remote stuff you've done, have you worked with anybody in person on the Rideshare project?
No, I hadn't worked with anybody. I not only had not worked on any other rideshare projects, but I had not worked with any of those actors in person before. I think Olivia and I might have worked together before. Olivia and I have the same manager, Bruce Smith, so we've met several times, but I don't know if we've actually done anything together. But
Nice.
but she was great, and it was nice to finally, say that we did.
And so then what can you tell me about your character in the show?
My character is kind of a damaged guy, kind of a wounded animal who he's kind of reached rock bottom. Even though whether he realizes it or not, he's still got quite a lot to live for. He's still got a family. That being said, he's estranged from his family, which probably makes things harder for him. But yeah, he's a veteran. He's been through some stuff. He's seen some things that you can't unsee. And by the time we meet up with him in the story, he's kind of at the part where he's just kind of saying the hell with it about everything, and just kind of up for whatever, because nothing really matters to him anymore.
Got it. Now, he sounds pretty jaded. Which episode does your character premiere in?
I don't know. I don't know the name. It's the one that's out today.
Okay, episode 3. Okay.
That's okay. So it's episode 3.
That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure because I didn't catch that one yet.
They say the third time is a charm. So I'm guessing it's the best episode. That's the one. That's the one. The best one.
How did you get into this project in the first place?
It sort of came to me by way of my manager, and he floated it my way during what was kind of a dead time with coronavirus and everything. And my show I'm on a show called Danger Force right now, and it was not back in production at the time. And so we had some time to kill. And so he was just throwing me projects that came across his desk that were good. And this one sounded really interesting. And so I said, why not? That sounds interesting. That sounds like something I've never done before. And I always find it challenging to just rely on your voice for a performance, to not be able to fall back on anything you're doing physically or with your face or facial expressions or anything. And so, I was up for the challenge, and it was a lot of fun, and it was a really enriching experience, and I'm glad I did it.
Have you done any other voice work prior to this?
Yeah, nothing like this. I mean, I'm on a show called Last Best Hope, which is a podcast. It's a radio play format, but it's very silly. It's very kind of like old school serial style, and by that I mean the kind that they used to show in the 40s and 50s, not the kind you pour milk on and eat. I
got you.
But it's not at all the same style. This was a much more naturalistic acting style, and Eric and I, who played the other guy that I was in most of the scenes with, he and I improv'd a lot and kind of bounced stuff off one another. And on each take, I think we learned a little bit about one another, enough to kind of make small adjustments, but still didn't know jack about each other really, which kind of made it very interesting and kind of mysterious and fun, and actually kind of added to the tension that was there between the characters.
So did you guys have to record your lines in the Zoom meetings together?
Yeah, we did it just like this, just logged in and hadn't met before. It was kind of like, those movies where those cat and mouse thrillers where the bad guy and the good guy only know each other as voices on the end of a phone, like In the Line of Fire, or one of those movies where, they're their fate is in each other's hands, but they never actually meet until the end of the movie. It was like that, except I still never met the guy at the end. Because not only did I have that experience where it was just a voice on the other end of the phone, because even though we had a Zoom session to record it, we couldn't see each other. And it's all a bit of a fog right now, so I can't tell you why. I might have been able to see the administrator, but we couldn't see the other actors. And so I never saw the guy, I'd never worked with him before. I still haven't met him. But we did this, fairly intense project together, and it was fun. And he was great. We had a lot of fun kind of bouncing off one another, and the director was great. And yeah, I'm glad I did it. I've done some other voiceover as well, just mainly animated stuff, cartoons, things like that, but nothing like this before.
So I know that. Sorry, I had a small brain fart. It's been a very long day.
In Ohio. It's late. And it's hot. I don't know if it's hot in Ohio, but it's 103 in LA. So. Oh
man, we have the. I think we have the heat on, so it's not that hot here. It's like 50 degrees. So sorry about that. But so to get back, I wanted to ask, as far as like in your personal life, have you had any crazy Uber, like Lyft or taxi experiences yourself?
Oh man, I feel like I should have been prepared for this question, because I feel like I should have. Yeah. Yeah, actually, it wasn't like this. It's not like I ever had a situation where the driver's like, guess what, motherfucker, I'm gonna kill you now. Like, that's never happened. But I have had a situation where I was late. I was driving to a doctor's appointment, and for whatever reason, I think my car was in the shop, and I needed to make this doctor's appointment. It was in Santa Monica. And somewhere on Sepulveda, I live in the valley, and somewhere on Sepulveda, the guy's car just broke down. He just started puttering. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, dude. My car's been acting crazy, and I don't think I'm going to be able to drive you the rest of the way." And I'm like, "Oh, so what happens now?" He's like, "I guess you just get out." Like, "Oh, it's like that. All right. Well, this is new." So that's the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me on Lyft or Uber, is the driver his car just stopped working, and he's like, "Get out of my car, dude. I got to get this thing towed." And then I just had to get another one. And I'm notorious for not having a charge on my phone. I'm always like at 3% whenever my Uber arrives. So I'm always that guy. It's like, "Hey man, can I use your charger?" So once he kicked me out of his car, I had like 2%. Oh, hold up. That's my notifications coming in. I had like 2% battery power to get my ass out of Westwood or wherever the hell I was, or El Segundo, or some place I didn't want to be, and get to my appointment on time. But no, guys never pulled a gun on me or anything.
Do you need to check your notification before I ask?
How do I turn that off? It's coming through my laptop. It's coming through my laptop. It's like synced to my phone.
I'm not sure. I can delete it when I do the edit though, so it'll be all right. I was gonna ask, you had mentioned, I think you said Danger Force. Yeah. Is that related to? Is it Henry Danger?
Yeah, it's a sequel to. It's the continuing adventures of the characters from Henry Danger.
So I know that that's something that you've been involved in for a huge part of your acting career. Can you kind of talk to me about your history with the character that you play and how that's advanced?
Yeah, I've been playing Captain Man on Henry Danger and now Danger Force for 7 years, at least 7 years in December. So, playing the guy has become easier and easier, and also harder and harder, because mentally it's easier to play him. Physically, it's harder to play him, because he's an indestructible man who's in really good shape, and I'm not indestructible. I'm a mere mortal, and working out every day for 7 years is hard. Like, everyone loves to give it up to like Chris Hemsworth. Like, man, look at this. That guy shoots like one movie every year. And then he and then, not that the guy doesn't stay in shape, but like, I've got to do it 3 days a week, every day. And it's just exhausting, and it gets a little old after a while, especially during a coronavirus pandemic when all the gyms are closed. So I'm having to like get creative and like do curls with milk jugs and whatever the hell's around the house. That aspect is harder, and I'm sort of leaning on my stuntman more and more than I used to. I used to do most of my own stunts, and now I do like, I don't know, like 50% or less of my own stunts. But the guy's indestructible. He gets like hit in the head with shovels and stuff, and you can't do that for too long before you need to sort of tap out and be like, hey, can we get Duffy to do this? Duff, you want to get hit in the head with a shovel? And stuntmen are always like, yeah, hell yeah, hit me with the shovel, I'm down.
Do you work with a team, or is it just the one stuntman?
Well, I've had several stuntmen over the years. I've had Eric Linden, Mark Michonne, Nick Bensamin, and now Duffy McManus, who has been my stuntman for about a year and a half, maybe almost 2 years now, actually. I'll have to check the math on that. But he's great. They've all been fantastic. And stuntmen and women are made of something else. They just have bones made of steel, and they have an impeccable spirit, and they just can't be hurt. And it's crazy. I mean, they can be hurt, obviously, but it's amazing how resilient and how tough they are and how fearless they are. And I just have a whole lot of respect for that whole community, because they're great. And our stunt coordinator, Vince Dedrick, was actually nominated for an Emmy this year for Henry Danger. Lost to Shameless somehow. It's like ours is like an action adventure show. I don't know. I've never seen Shameless, but I don't remember there being a lot of stunts in it. Unless the stunts involve like William H. Macy getting drunk and falling down. Like that seems to be that show. I don't know. I've never seen it.
Same.
I shouldn't pass judgment. I've never seen it. But like for 7 years, this guy's been like smashing people through skylights and through walls and setting people on fire and all sorts of awesome stuff. So, but not to poo-poo it, the fact that he got nominated was well-deserved and awesome. And he's great. And it's been an honor working with that team. Now, mentally, it's actually been easier to play the character because he's getting older, and he has watched a group of kids that he pseudo-raised move on and grow up and sort of leave the nest. And that's been incredibly emotional, not only for him, but also for me. And it's hard. It's hard to watch little kids that you had a big part in raising, I would say, not to discount what their own parents are doing, but when they spend 12 hours out of their day with me, whether like it or not, for better or worse, I'm their parent figure, and I became very close with them, and I would like to think that I had some impact on their lives, and now they're gone, and it's sad to see that, but that's life. Kids grow up, and I have a child of my own now, which was something that I didn't have at the beginning. And so that emotional element of knowing that these kids grow up and how fast they grow up just makes me bond with these new kids and with my own child so much more, because I'm just like, any minute now you're gonna leave, any minute now you're gonna go to college. And my wife's like, calm down, she's 4. Like, yeah, but she's gonna be 5 pretty soon, and then she'll be 10, and then she'll go to school, and she'll leave us. So I hope she becomes an actor, so that, for selfish reasons, so that she'll stay in LA. But who knows? I suppose that's your own path.
And so, having done that for 7 years, is that the longest role you've ever committed to?
Oh yeah, definitely, hands down. I mean, everything else I've done has been, 1 or 2 things here or there. One-off projects, one-off characters. This was my golden ticket, and very, very fortunate for it. And he's a great character. I mean, I just love playing him. He's fun, and he's cathartic, because there's a lot of facets to his personality that are very ridiculous and out there. And I think I'm able to stay fairly calm in my own life, because even though the world is a crazy place, every episode he's just losing his mind about something. He's a very emotional dude.
Yeah.
So it's easy for me to sort of just put the real emotions I'm feeling on screen, easier and easier every day, whether it's the bittersweet emotions that come with watching kids grow up before your eyes, or just the anger and rage associated with the nutso world around us, you know, it's easy to sort of funnel that through this very emotionally unstable character,
Right.
and let it out.
And with you having, now you're working on Rideshare, with you having done your work on Rideshare, and we talked about like how you do it all through Zoom meeting, just like this, compared to you with your biggest role you've been doing for the last 7 years. You keep talking about how it only gets harder, getting yourself with the physicality and preparing yourself for that. Do you think now that you've experienced the ease of voice acting, do you think you could see yourself funneling more into that work as you age?
Oh my God, yeah, that'd be amazing. Are you kidding me? I would love that. I've done a decent amount of voiceover, but like I said, it's never been this kind of like improvised, dramatic style. It's been very scripted, very comedic. A lot of cartoons and animation, and I'd love to do more of that, frankly. But that's a hard thing to get into. I was actually on an animated series for a while, and that was great. And it pays well, and you can do it with no pants on. I mean, there's not many shows you can get paid really well to not have pants on.
What was that series?
You should. It's frowned upon to not wear pants. Like they prefer you to show up wearing pants. But who knows? Now that everything's being done from home, I'm guessing the vast majority of cartoons will be recorded from home studios. And then say goodbye to pants, baby. No, there's no point. Why would people wear pants if they don't have to? I feel like I've said pants too many times. It's very hot. I just want to take these pants off. It's like 80 degrees in here, man. So hot. San Valley is like the surface of the sun right now.
I usually don't wear pants this close to midnight, so I totally feel you there. It's an odd day. I'm defying my normal lifestyle.
If we had more time, I would ask you if you were cursed by some sort of wizard where like at the stroke of midnight, the pants have to come off. Otherwise your legs turn into gremlins, or
it's like I was gonna say, it's like Gremlins, right?
Yeah.
It's exactly what it is. Yeah. And yeah.
Don't get your pants wet. Don't expose them to sunlight, and they got to be off by midnight.
I can't get food on them.
There's gonna be hell to pay.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So to wrap up, is there anything else about Rideshare or anything else? Like you mentioned, you're an animated series. Obviously, you're still working with the Danger Force. Is there anything you'd like to mention or plug?
What I like to plug, yeah. We got new episodes of Danger Force that are coming out soon. We're about 3 episodes in to the new batch of our order. So new episodes coming your way in the next month, roughly, I think. I don't know the exact date, but it's soon. Rideshare is available to listen to now, as well as Last Best Hope. You can go to @LastBestHope on Instagram to find out where you can listen to those. There's several episodes of that available. And the last thing I want to plug is the 2020 election. You guys should all go out and vote, because we're in bad shape and we need y'all to vote. And please don't vote for the jackass that's there now.
Yeah, 100%.
Vote for some new blood.
This has pretty much been how every conversation has ended in the last.
Oh, that's very encouraging. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. So I'm excited that, luckily, at least among creatives, it seems like there's a singular voice. But
that's great.
You did mention that you're an animated series. I just was curious, what show is that?
Oh, it's in the same family. It's called The Adventures of Kid Danger. It was sort of a spinoff, but not really. It's not really what nerds would refer to as canon, what I would refer to as canon, because it sort of took place. I don't know what point in the story it takes place, but they were fun. They were very, very fun to do, and they, for whatever reason, the ratings were great, but the executive producer and the network had a falling out of sorts, and so for whatever reason they didn't continue it, but it was great. It was so much fun to do, and I don't know where that's airing, but it's airing around the world somewhere because they keep paying me for it. So I would love to answer your question. Yeah, to go back to what you said before, I would love to have a future in voiceover. So if anyone's listening to this and likes the sound of my voice, I'm tired of lifting weights and I want to just do this.
there any specific fandoms that you'd like to steer into as far as like anything in animation or like any comic characters, anything that you're into video game wise that you'd like to be a part of those franchises?
I don't know anything about video games. I understand that they need voiceover actors though, and that's always cool. I shouldn't say that I'm tired of. I'm not at all tired of playing Captain Man. I enjoy playing Captain Man. I shouldn't say that, but it's a lot of work. It's worth it. I enjoy it. It is a lot of work, but my old man said, nothing worth having comes easy, and I stand by that. But yeah, I would love to occasionally pick up a choice voiceover gig. But yeah, any genre would be great. Um, I'm easy.
Awesome and much appreciated. Again, I don't want to keep you any longer. It's late there, it's even later here. But thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me.
Of course, Joseph. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, of course. We pretty much covered everything. But if you ever need help with coverage in the future, just let me know. I'll get everything over to Karen. That way she can shoot it over to you guys' team.
Beautiful. Thanks so much.
Yeah, you be safe. You guys have a good night.
Great night.
Too.
Thanks.
Good night, Karen. Thank you.
Thank you.